I have just over 200 anime Funko Pops, but let's discuss my favorites.
Anyone can wear the mask.
Hey everyone, welcome back to another video. Today, I want to rank my top 10 anime Funko Pops from my personal collection. Before we get started, leave a comment and let me know, what's your favorite anime Funko Pop? So starting in my number 10 spot, I do have the deluxe version of Satoru Gojo performing the Hollow Purple technique. I love this pop and the moment that it represents, especially because Hollow Purple is my favorite technique that Gojo can perform. Now, the reason I have this at number 10 and not higher on the list is because with the debris and kind of that wind that it's kicking up, I think it was an interesting choice that Funko kind of chose that pinkish salmon color or whatever that is versus some type of neutral gray or genuine brown color. However, outside of that, I think this pop is absolutely amazing, and I do prefer this deluxe version more than the Chalice Collectibles regular 4-inch pop. And in my number 9 slot, I do have the Box Lunch exclusive glow in the dark Super Saiyan God Super Saiyan Goku Kaioken times 20. Whew, that's a mouthful, but I really do enjoy this pop. It looks really good out of box, and I love the aura on it more than anything. Goku's not in a very dynamic pose. It's him just kind of charging up. However, what makes this pop so great to me is the glow-in-the-dark feature. I mean, take a look at that glow. The blue mixing so well with the red, and I just feel like even if this pop were to only glow, you know exactly what character this is and what moment from the anime. Now, in my number 8 spot, I do have Gohan Beast, but more specifically, the Funko Shop exclusive version of Gohan Beast. This pop is when Gohan Beast is performing Special Beam Cannon, and I am always in favoritism of any Funko Pop, especially anime and more specifically Dragon Ball, where they're using some type of technique or have an energy blast there. When Gohan went beast mode, it was one of my all-time favorite moments in Dragon Ball franchise. And for them to kind of recreate that Special Wing Cannon into a Funko Pop allowed that moment to relive itself in a figure. Now, I do like this one better than the common, being that the common is just Gohan Beast standing there. This one is much more dynamic. In my number 7 spot, I do have the Volcano X exclusive glow-in-the-dark Shoto Todoroki. I genuinely love the mold of this Shoto Todoroki. This is by far the best mold Funko has ever produced of Todoroki, especially because it just shows that enhanced kind of rage form of both his fire and his ice at the same time. But like I mentioned, this one is also a glow in the dark pop, and this glow is extremely cool. No different than the Goku that I showed previously. You can tell exactly who this is and what this pop represents, even when it's a glowing. And I think that is how you nail a glow-in-the-dark pop. And it just seems necessary with both of these. In my number 6 slot, I do have Dragon Form Kaido, the 10-inch Funko Pop. Now, this one is only number 6 because I do feel as though it's a little bit of a cheat code, being that it is a 10-inch pop. I understand Kaido was a massive character, especially when he was in his dragon form. But to make this into a 10-inch pop did give Funko a lot more space, room, and much more of a mold to work with in order to put a lot of these details into the pop. Now, with that being said, every detail down to the scales of this Kaido look absolutely outstanding, and I do think it's a very vibrant Funko Pop as well. Now, as we move into the top 5, we will start with the number 5 slot, which is the Chalice exclusive Gear for Luffy. Gear for Luffy is my personal favorite form for Luffy, but more specifically with this pop, it really emphasizes how big, strong, and powerful Gear for Luffy was with all the smoke around him in his Dressrosa outfit, and the fact that Funko gave this a metallic look for whatever reason really enhanced how awesome this Gear 4 Luffy pop is. And as with every Luffy Funko Pop, you just can't forget about the straw hat. So down to every minute detail, I love this pop. And in my number 4 spot, I do have the Funko Shop exclusive Shinobu Kacho from Demon Slayer. This is by far the best Demon Slayer Funko Pop that has released in my opinion. Not only is this a Hashira, but for this to be the first Shinobu Funko Pop that was ever released, I feel like they gave this pop a lot of details. Not only is she in a dynamic pose flying through the air, but having all of those really pretty purple butterflies around her really enhanced the way that this Funko Pop looks. A lot of the other Hashira Pops they made before this primarily were just standing there and they were not in a dynamic pose. Not to mention, purple is my favorite color, so a little bit of bias there. Now, speaking of bias, there was no way I could make a top 10 anime Funko Pop video without putting my personal favorite character in my top 3. So in my number 3 spot, I do have the Chalice Collectibles exclusive Golden Frieza. I actually really do enjoy and love this mold for Golden Frieza, especially because he's in a dynamic flying pose. They gave him a halo which tells you the timeline from when this version of Golden Frieza was in the anime after Goku resurrected him with the Dragon Balls for the Tournament of Power. And like I've mentioned before, I will always favor pops that do have some type of technique or energy blast. That metallic look on this Golden Frieza really enhances the fact that he is golden and his position atop the pecking order. Now, the pop that I have in my number 2 spot is a much newer pop. Actually has just come out in the last week or two, and that is the Super Saiyan Broly, specifically from Dragon Ball Super Broly the movie. This 6-inch Broly looks incredible. I'm so happy that Funko decided to make this pop a 6-inch versus just a 4-inch, especially because Broly was just that massive of a character in that movie. And again, here we go with the energy blast. But Broly was so powerful, his blasts were typically much bigger than other characters. And I think Funko did a great job kind of showing off how big any of Broly's energy blasts would be. He has that rage in his face, especially with those white berserk eyes. And the moment that you've all been waiting for, in my number 1 spot, can I get a drum roll, please? I did choose Luffy with Thousand Sunny. Now, before you question why I didn't choose Luffy on Going Merry, yes, Going Merry was the first ship the Straw Hats ever had. However, I love pops that have a lot of color and are very vibrant. I think the Thousand Sunny has much more color and attention to detail than Going Merry. There's a lot of detail on this pop from the side of it to just seeing all the wood features on the boat itself. Not to mention Luffy standing there very proud as the captain of this ship. But even the mast and everything has a lot of color and detail, down to the Jolly Roger itself. I think Luffy on Thousand Sunny is the best Funko Pop in all of anime for my collection. But again, this is just my opinion. So feel free to disagree and let me know exactly what you disagree with in the comments. So those are my top 10 personal favorite Funko Pops in my collection. I'm very excited to see what other anime Funko Pops are released this year in 2025. I'm personally hoping to see Spy Family and Don Da Don sooner than later. As always, if you enjoyed this video, be sure to hit that like button. And until next time, I'm out of here, y'all.